Hello and welcome to Top Deck. We are going to get back into gameplay, and for the first gameplay video of 2025, I'm going to break out a Gruul Midrange or a Gruul ramp deck that I've been working on, and I really hope it does well. This deck is super fun in playtesting. So let's get into it. Our 1-drops are effectively 8 copies of Llanowar Elves to really help the ramp get going. In our 2-drop spot is continuing the ramp theme with Wolf Willow Haven. We can also sacrifice a Wolf Willow Haven to create a 2/2 wolf during our turn. That does take 5 mana, though. Moving on to the 3-drops, we've got ourselves Reckless Storm Seekers, which will give creatures +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Hopefully we can get our big beaters going a little bit faster with this card. We will be playing 4 copies of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is the best red card in the format. I mean, in one of the best red cards of all time. It is a saga, with Chapter 1 being create a 2/2 Goblin Shaman that creates a treasure whenever it attacks. Chapter 2 is discarding 2 cards to draw that many, or up to 2 cards to draw that many. And then the third side is essentially Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, but it costs 1 mana to activate, and it doesn't have haste. Rounding out our 3-drops, we've got Bone Crusher Giants. We've got 3 of them, and I'm including them here because the Stomp Adventure is a great way to remove our opponent's threats. And then we can just play the Bone Crusher Giant as a pretty hefty beater. A 4/3 is nothing to sneeze at. Moving on to our 4-drops, we've got a single Hulking Raptor just to continue the ramp theme to get to the actual higher parts of our curve. And we've got 3 copies of the Akroan Boar. So ideally, we can play this, take control of our opponent's best threat, and then we force everything else they have to attack into our much larger things. This card could effectively be almost a one-sided board wipe if played right, especially with that Chapter 3 ability where each creature that didn't die that they attacked with will deal damage to itself equal to its power, so leaving only the creature we stole at the end. Our 5-drops is where it gets messy. I've got 2 copies of Vorinclex, which can help find some forests later in the game, and then it also has, for 8 mana, we can exile it and return it to the battlefield as the Grand Evolution, which will allow us to mill 10 cards, get a couple creatures out of the milled cards, then distribute 7 +1/+1 counters, and then attach a fight spell to all of our creatures. I've got 3 copies of Twin Flame Tyrant, the damage doubling dragon, to just double up all of our damage that we do. I've got Terror of the Peaks to turn all of our creatures into removal spells. When they hit the battlefield, Terror of the Peaks does damage equal to that creature's power to any target. And then I've got a single copy of Bonehorde Dracosaur that was laying around in my collection for some card advantage and potentially making some additional bodies. Then in our 6-drop spots, we've got 2 copies of Gruff Triplets. When Gruff Triplets enters, it creates 2 token copies of itself if it wasn't a token copy. And then when a Gruff Triplet dies, we put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its power on each creature I control named Gruff Triplets. Then we've got 1 copy of Trumpeting Carnosaur that was just sitting around in my collection. And when it enters, we discover 5, Discover being basically Cascade. It also comes with a bit of removal attached if we need to in a pinch. We also have 1 copy of Calamity, Galloping Inferno. This card is really cool. So we can play it for 6 mana, and it has haste and saddle 1. Saddle is a lot like crewing for vehicles, but this creature is not a vehicle. But we can saddle it with one of our other creatures, and then when Calamity attacks, it creates 2 copies of that other creature. So we have a lot of good creatures that we'd really like to get copies of with Calamity. This card should be really fun to play with. As per usual, don't look at the mana base. These are just the red and green lands that I had laying around. Please make your own mana base. I've got 23 lands here, but you can surely do better than what I've got here. And then in the sideboard, starting us off strong, we've got 3 copies of Pick Your Poison to handle artifacts, enchantments, or potentially creatures of flying. We've got Pithing Needles, shut down activated abilities, Soul Guide Lantern, and Scavenging Ooze to handle our opponent's graveyards. Claim the Firstborns in case our opponents are playing stuff that's low to the ground that we might want to steal. We've got End the Festivities and Tectonic Hazards as it's kind of board wipes for really small token decks. Like, let's say we run into elves and they make a lot of 1/1 elves. These cards will be very helpful against that. We've got a couple copies of Magebane Lizard in case we run into a deck that plays a lot of non-creature spells, like Izzet Phoenix. And we've got one copy of Sweltering Suns, just as an additional board wipe that does a little bit more damage than End the Festivities. And then we've got ourselves a Reclamation Sage to further destroy artifacts and enchantments. So that's the deck. I hope you have a lot of fun watching this. If you enjoy the content as we get going, please remember to like and subscribe. Yeah, other than that, let's get on the ladder. Okay, so we're here. We've got ourselves a way to play our 1-drop on turn 1. We can go immediately into a 3-drop or the Wolfwillow Haven if we so choose. So we're going to start things off with turn 1 Forest, Llanowar Elves go. If our opponent has removal, we expect our Llanowar Elves to bite it right here. That doesn't really spell removal. This spells aggro deck to me. So we're going to play ourselves a mountain. And we do have ourselves an option of just ramping, but I don't actually see anything that we can ramp into, so I think it's better just to play the Fable of the Mirror Breaker at this point. We could have played Wolfwillow Haven on this mountain, say, and just tapped these 2 lands, and then we could have also played an Elvish Mystic. Alright, so our token gets Laid Down Arms. I'm surprised they didn't use that on the Llanowar Elves, but that's okay. Alright, do I want to discard anything? I think I'll discard 1 copy of Elvish Mystic here. And I don't see any creatures that I want to steal right off, so we'll try to cycle in for some better stuff. Let's now play a land, because lands are how we win games. We will then play this Wolfwillow Haven on this mountain. And then we will play Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the sequel. The Goblin Shaman token was good enough to bite some removal, so they clearly respect it. Let's see if we can do anything with it. I'm really hoping Vorinclex is just big enough to get them to back off, whatever they're doing. So I will use the Goblin Shaman to block the 1/1 token, and we'll just take 4. Ooh, Twin Flame Tyrant. Okay, so if we're not really going to be attacking this turn, we will, in case they get rid of our Llanowar Elves, I won't discard this. We will start things off with Vorinclex. Vorinclex should give them pause for attacking. So we will grab ourselves at least 1 basic forest. And do I want this one? No, I think untapped sources will be better. We're going to be playing ourselves a forest, and then we will play out the Elvish Mystic, just to be mana efficient. So, just going off permanent counts, our opponent might be at a bit of a disadvantage at this point. Ooh, they've got the Brutal Cathar, though. Alright, so how would we like to do this? Stick the Reflection of Kiki Jiki in front of the token. We will stick an Elvish Mystic in front of Adeline, and we will stick a Dauntless Bodyguard, or we will block Dauntless Bodyguard with our token. Okay, drawing Calamity is really good. We now have ourselves a Twin Flame Tyrant that we can play as well. Do I want to attack? I really don't think so. I think I'll just make a copy of Twin Flame Tyrant, so that way we'd have extra blockers. But hopefully next turn, we can just play Calamity, saddle it with a Twin Flame Tyrant, and just have some fun. Yep. Sounds good. They're going to buff up all their humans. We are not playing a lot of non-creature spells. This is fine. So we will pass into combat. Alright. We will make a copy of the Twin Flame Tyrant, and we will stick it in front of Adeline. This is a great way to get rid of it. Stick this one here. We've gotten their best creature off the board. All good stuff. Now let's we'll play our Calamity. Thanks. We will crew our Calamity with this Twin Flame Tyrant. We will then make a copy of Twin Flame Tyrant. And then, you know what? We will make one more copy of Twin Flame Tyrant. We're going to just hit our opponent for a lot. So let's now go to combat with so much damage doubling going on. We are doubling any damage by a lot. And just like that, our opponent takes about 500 damage. See, this deck is fun. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So we are now officially in best of 3, and our opponent has kept a hand of 7 cards. I'm not sure if I want to keep this, but we do have Bone Crusher for early interaction. We've also got a Willfillowhaven. I don't know if a 6 is going to be better than this, so we'll take this. We'll play our Restless Ridgeline first, then the Copperline Gorge, then Rockfall Vale. Ooh, Stormcarved Coast. That says Phoenix to me. And Phoenixes are no problem. We've got a Vorinclex with Reach, and 6 damage is our... Whoa, what is this? Okay. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Do I play this? Then I'll be playing a 4-drop next turn. I actually don't think we play anything faster if we play the Willfillowhaven, so we're going to hold up our Stomps with our Bone Crusher Giants. We'll just move that over here. Alright, so we will try to stomp the Silent Hall Creeper, excuse me. Okay, so they will fizzle our Bone Crusher Giant, but I mean, they just use removal on their own creature. That's never a bad thing, considering we have an extra Bone Crusher Giant right there. So we could ramp here, but I think it's just better to play out a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I bet they're wishing they had that removal spell now. So, what is our opponent doing? Like, I'm still not entirely convinced they're not playing Phoenix. Okay, this is definitely not a Phoenix deck. Okay, this is just draw cards. At least we know that our biggest creatures are bigger than this Overlord. They might have the red Overlord do it, though, and that, I think, does quite a bit of damage. Do we want to be discarding anything? We will discard Duplicate Vorinclex and draw a new one. We will play a Mountain for turn. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll have 5 lands after this attack. So we will play this, or we will attack for 2. And then we will slam Vorinclex. Alright, our opponent will opt. So they seem to be Izzet draw cards. Do we need... No, we've got 3 red sources, so I feel okay just taking the untapped sources again. So they will consider. I really think Mage Bane Lizards would get... Oh, we got ourselves a hint at what they do. Ral, Crackling Wit. Okay, so they are just non-creature spell nonsense. Okay. Crackling Drake. Sounds good. How many non-creature spells do we have here? Alright, so not a lot right off. What we can do, however, we will attack. If they block the token, we will stomp it. Yep, sounds good. Because I have a feeling that gets big really quickly. Then what else can we do? Play a Willfillowhaven on this Copperline Gorge. And then... yeah, we'll just play out a Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher's just a good card. I'm not too concerned if they get off one attack with Overlord of the Flood Pits, because we've got a lot of pressure mounting right now. We actually have lethal on board. Okay, we no longer have lethal on board, but that's all right. Because we can just now play our forest. We can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can replay an Llanowar Elves and a Gruff Triplets. It's very interesting that they have this main boarded. We will be stealing their Overlord of the Flood Pits on our next turn. So let's attack with Vorinclex. Give up your Hall Creeper or take 6. Very gutsy of them. Very gutsy indeed. So now let's play our Gruff Triplets. I actually... do we want to play out an Elvish Mystic? I don't know. Probably should. 3 copies, and then we'll play out one of these. We're not going to play out both of them, just in case they have another board wipe. I didn't expect one main board, but hey, is what it is. So Magebane Lizards will be good. Alright, that worked. So Magebane Lizards in. I didn't really see anything that we'd want to steal that was small. Pick Your Poison seems like it would be good. So let's take out the Akroan War, because they didn't really have that many creatures. But they did have enchantment stuff and creatures with flying. What else could we take out? Yeah. Probably a Wolfwillow Haven, because we still don't want to be going 1, 2, 3. We still want to be going 1, 3. So maybe reducing this part of the curve isn't the worst thing. Yeah, let's try it. This hand is good, but it has no red mana or a second land, so that is a bit of an issue. All right, this one at least gives us a game plan. So we will keep this. We will put back the mountain. And why did I do that? We have nothing in between here. Okay, we're hoping to draw something because that was a goofy play. We'll play a Restless Ridgeline. Our opponent will probably play, yep, an Opter Consider. So they're likely looking for lands. Then again, we didn't really see a whole lot of what their deck does. We'll play out a Copperline Gorge, and we'll play this Wolfwillow Haven, and down on it. So now we're really hoping for something in the middle of our curve to play next turn, because I was kind of dumb and kept a hand with no immediate game plan. Because I think the way their deck wins is through like just eventual overall card draw. We're going to win through applying pressure. So that was entirely my fault. Okay, they're a thing in the ice deck. Sounds okay to me. Yep. Can't really do anything with that. So maybe I do want to bring the Akroan War or something to like take their thing in the ice. Yeah, they can get in one more attack. Alright. Can't even really use the Boseiju because I really need it to play Vorinclex. So we'll play out the Boseiju. We'll play Vorinclex. We'll grab a couple of untapped sources here. Yeah. So they are going to flip their thing in the ice this turn. Or at least I'd imagine they're going to try to. So we'll play... ourselves a Wolf Willowhaven. Then we'll play out a Vorinclex because it will be something to do, and we can thin our deck a little bit. That doesn't spell flipping thing in the ice to me. Kind of confused what that play was. Start things off with a forest. Then we've got 2, 4, 5. Then we've got 3 mana left over. No good. 12, 15. Trying to see how they might be able to get rid of us. Can also flip Vorinclex and just hopefully spin the wheel. You know what? Actually, let's first attack with Vorinclex. Hit them for 6. Flip it. And then let's just see what we can do. Let's put a Twin Flame Tyrant into play and a Magebane Lizard. So we do have the potential to make this an interesting game. So if they don't deal with the Twin Flame Tyrant, they're pretty dead. And they can't even really shoot the Twin Flame Tyrant down, because if they do, they'll flip the thing in the ice and it'll bounce back to our hand before anything happens. So they'll take a couple damage from the Magebane Lizard. If they wanted to do that, they really should have done that ahead of time. Oh, these are horrors. I didn't realize that. Okay. But they do stop us from doing anything, or they do stop us from distributing. So let's try pick your poison, sacrifices a creature of flying. Well, that's an issue. Yeah, that's an issue. Okay. So five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. All right. While they're deciding, we'll just scoop it. Okay. So they got it. All right. So that was, I think, largely on my fault for keeping a bad opening hand, or not a very actionable opening hand. So I think I will stick in a couple copies of the Akroan War. And what will we take out? Maybe another Wolfwillow Haven and an elf, just as a generic cut. Alright, yeah, let's try it. Yeah, we will keep the 7 because we'll go Rockfall Vale on 1, and then we can start our game plan up. Play a mountain. We will play an Elvish Mystic. They will consider. Sounds good. Probably didn't keep the best hand again. We were really hoping for a land off the top, especially if they killed this Elvish Mystic. But this will work. I don't suspect Spell Pierce, but if they've got it, they got it. They do not have one in hand. Because, yeah, we just haven't seen Spell Pierce all match, and it just seems really weird that they would keep it against our deck. Fading Hope, however, makes a lot of sense. Kind of like my hand. And then we will say so they could potentially flip their thing in the ice. Not the end of the world. They're not going to flip this turn. Seems okay to me. We will hold up our Bone Crusher Giants for when they try to get clever. You know, just in case they've got negates, we will hit them with Double Stomp now. And then our Reflection of Kiki Jiki will die, and then we'll just start applying pressure with our Bone Crusher Giants. We've got Pick Your Poison to handle whatever they play, or most of whatever they play. Alright, we will Surveil 1. Land, not the worst thing in the world. Try to play a Bone Crusher Giant. And then we will have them sacrifice an enchantment. Just get rid of the Hall Creeper as soon as it happens. So they wanted to keep stuff around for a reason. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana available to us. So we can't play. So if they've got a counterspell, they're going to use it on one of these things. Or we could just try to play a Bone Crusher Giant and see what happens. Could do that. Let's try to see if we can bait something. All right, nothing has been baited, but yeah, just respecting the counterspell maybe a little too much. Okay, it looks like they're going for a treasure cruise. Perhaps I should have played out one of the bigger threats last turn. Good on our opponent for faking us out. Probably would have played Vorinclex, yeah. Silent Hall Creeper the sequel. Alright, so let's try... Do I go for Twin Flame Tyrant? Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on him. So, and we've played around the one where we have to pay an additional 2 mana, which was kind of the point. Well, can only play around, what you imagine, or can only play around so much. Alright, so let's hit them with the Bone Crusher Giant. They will block. That was kind of the point of them leaving up a blocker. So we'll leave that there. We will then play out Vorinclex. Grab a couple forests. And then we will force them to sacrifice their other creature. And hopefully a flipped Vorinclex will win us the game. So they are looking for an answer. Our opponent is desperately looking for an answer. So our opponent has 2 cards in hand. 1 card in hand, going back up to 2. Alright, let's play this. No, we will activate this. We will put a Wolf Willow Haven on our mountain. All right. Opponent's got to have an answer. So they get rid of their own Ral to draw some cards. We have a Restless Ridgeline in play. So they've got to have an answer to that and to Vorinclex. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They're at 1 life. Still looking for answers. Luckily, Vorinclex has Trample. We will replay our Vorinclex, grab a couple more forests. We will attack with our Restless Ridgeline, force them to block. Alright, that's probably the best creature to get rid of, so we sacrificed a land to get rid of their Overlord. They still need to figure out how they're going to deal with Vorinclex. Because we have a couple creatures in our deck that they just probably won't be able to deal with, like Terror of the Peaks. Like, Terror of the Peaks would be just probably close to game over. So they've got to draw 2, discard a card. Really looking for some way to handle the Vorinclex still, because Vorinclex has Trample. So they'll hit us down to 17. They will draw a card. Or maybe, yeah, because any other mode doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. So let's play out a Magebane Lizard. Because yeah, that should just be game. Because even if they block, we've got Trample. Yeah. 1, 2, got him. Good game, opponent. Whew. Alright, so we are back, and we are on the play. We've got time for one more match. I think I can keep this, because I can go turn 2, Wolfwillowhaven, turn 3, Fable, which seems passable to me. Oh, our opponent mulligans. Nice. Perhaps this hand is a little too slow, but it'll work out. Just gotta have faith, man. So they play out a Darkslick Shores, hoping to hold up. My guess would be holding up a Fatal Push. But if they got Spell Pierce, then they got Spell Pierce. They do not have Spell Pierce. Ooh, okay, we're up against Rogues. Oh, some of our really good hidden stuff. That's pain. So they've probably got the Flashing 1/3 Thief, or Soaring Thought Thief, I think it is. Alright, so we should probably really be playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Just, even if it's into a counterspell, it is into a counterspell, because we have 2 more. Yep, Soaring Thought Thief. There it is. Alright. Alright, we got nothing else to do. Oh, yes, so we will ditch a couple cards, draw 2 more, get 2 more lands, not exactly what we were hoping for. We will play out Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the sequel. Probably should have played this Restless Ridgeline instead. I feel dumb. opponent is doing quite a good job of milling us. So our opponent has removal.deck. Not really a good sign. We will be ditching this Wolf Willow Haven and this land. Let's draw something better. Ooh, Gruff Triplets is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 6th land. So let's play Gruff Triplets. Gruff Triplets is really good here. We do need some way to deal with the Soaring Thought Thief, though. And I'm okay if they die. I'm okay if my Gruff Triplets die. Alright, so it has given the Gruff Triplets have given them pause, which is what we were hoping for. Do you need some way to get rid of this Thought Thief, though? The Akroan War would be wonderful. That's no fun. Alright, so let's play this Restless Ridgeline. We will attack with Gruff Triplet Singular. And then we will play Fable of the Mirror Breaker Part 3. Alright, if my calculations are correct, we still have plenty enough blockers. Alright, so we will stick Gruff Triplet here, Gruff Triplet here. We will stick both of these here. Yeah, we need to discard these. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. I think we just get there. Alright. Alright, so they go to 1. We are at 3, and boom. Stealing a win. I like that. Oh, man, I'm tired. I did not sound enthused at all. Alright, so there go wide deck. That's a good thing to bring in. Then I think Claim the Firstborn will be better than these Akroan Wars. So... And they want to be attacking anyway, so I don't really see the Akroan Wars being much help. Yeah. Let's go like this. Alright, so our opponent has kept a hand of 7. This hand is pretty risky if they've got like Fatal Push or Thoughtseize, but I think like the potential is too good because we do have a way to deal with flyers and such. With our Twin Flame Tyrant. Oh, they got the Thoughtseize. Are they going to take the Elf? Are they going to take Fable? My guess would be Fable. Yep. So we'll go turn 1 Forest, Llanowar Elves. We actually don't have a way to play this Twin Flame Tyrant now that they got rid of our Treasure Maker. Alright, so they're going to try to flash in a Soaring Thought Thief. So let's play a mountain, and then enchant said mountain with Wolf Willow Haven. Come on. I know you got... Oh, Fairy Mastermind. Hey. So... Untapped red source is good, because then we can play Twin Flame Tyrant, or they just take our Twin Flame Tyrant. That would probably be my choice here, because it's the thing we can play the fastest. Yep. Hand is just getting picked apart with Thoughtseize. On the other hand, they're not applying too much pressure through the air, which is good. And then we will play Forest out. So then we'll play Vorinclex. And hope they can't counter it. That's alright. So Vorinclex kind of stops their aerial assault. We'll take a commercial district because we need another red source, and we'll take a forest. They almost walked into it. Not quite, though. So we'll try our hand with Commercial District. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a good card. We will leave that on top. Do I attack into this? They do have flashing Death Touchers, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so they'll draw a couple with their Fairy Mastermind. Ah, yeah. Or does that one... Is that one mana flash creature? Okay. Let's play out Mountain. If they try to flash in some Death Toucher, we will stomp it. And we can play Fable of the Mirror Breaker after that. Nothing there. Let's try smacking him with some Gruff Triplets. Okay, so as long as we have 8 or more in our graveyard, that's when they've got Death Touch. Okay. So we have a pretty strong board here. If you've got a removal spell opponent, Vorinclex is the right choice here, because the biggest thing has reach. Doesn't make the other things bigger. Ooh, Calamity makes this a very interesting thing. Yeah, I'm going to play Calamity. So we will saddle Calamity with our untapped Gruff Triplets. And we will go a-swinging. What are you gonna do, opponent? Got there! Well, that was a lot of fun. I really think we get to see just the sheer raw power of this deck. We played 3 matches. One of them was best of 1. I'm sorry about that, but I think for runtime, for the video runtime reasons, that will end up being a good thing. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun playing it, especially after a long day. I mean, I probably sound really tired because I am. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Other than that, have a great day, everyone. See you around.